Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud.
And Scotty, oh! I was going to do something different. That was really weird, though. Scott Allwood. Scotty Allwood.
With Rivals 1, Season 21, Episode 6 recap.
Right. I hope you're not getting this confused with the new podcast he's doing. I know YouTube can get confusing, but this is not the new stuff. So if that's what you're looking for,
this is the
you're about to be
shit.
disappointed. Disappointed for sure. We're hitting that mid-season bunch where... Because it's always exciting in the first 3 episodes, and then it kind of hits that mid-bunch, and then you're like, oh, okay, whatever. And then towards the end, it's like, whoa, back to the good old stuff.
Yeah, I guess so.
I feel like that's the general audience is how they go.
Yeah.
Me and you, of course, and our fellow listeners, I'm assuming.
That's how it goes for us.
Just love it the whole time. But, those casual people. Shitheads.
The casual people. Oh, shit, Jesus Christ. Yeah, let's alienate some more potential listeners. Let's start with the fucking episode. And it starts with CT giving Laurel a sticker. He's like, you want a sticker? And in Bostonian, that means little button. Little pin button, right?
Well, it's this whole thing of all of a sudden he's not giving Mandy attention. He's all about Laurel. And they're hanging out a little more. Then he gives her this little button, and then all of a sudden the viewers are let in on what actually happened seasons ago on Duel 2, to where his brother just got shot and murdered.
Yeah,
and then he still was like he had to go do the show that he had already said that he was going to do. So then he tried to go off and do the show, and then obviously the events of the Duel 2 happened, and now all of a sudden it's like, wow, this makes so much sense as the CT we've seen this season. As to why he's being this type of a person now. Like, he genuinely went through a traumatic experience, and it's awful, but at least now he's trying to kind of make up for his past wrongdoings.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. Like, it's such a touching moment. I was just watching it again to the point where I'm like, this is so sweet. Like, I can't handle how genuinely sweet this moment is. Like, they're connecting. You feel that he's really opening up to Laurel at this point, which it didn't seem like he had done to, Mandy at all.
It's perfect that you said, like, yeah, he's actually, this is this open, this touching scene between these two assholes. Because they're talking to each other, and Laurel's like, oh, yeah, so that's when you beat up Adam or whatever? And he's like, yeah, that's when I chased him in his underwear and shit like that. Then you show a clip of that. And then CT's like, well, it turns out that you're kind of like me too, huh? Yeah. And she's like, oh, I don't beat people up.
I don't punch people, though.
Yeah.
And he's like, and I do? And she's like, yeah. No, it was really sweet. Like, I'm a sucker for those moments where you can tell two people are really kind of feeling each other. And, I've done a few reality shows to where you kind of see that and with people, and it's nice. It's a weird feeling. I don't know how to explain it beyond that to where, like, it really hits you in the feels, I guess, is what the kids are saying these days. It really hits you in the feels.
Let's get those new listeners in, like we were saying.
But it's obnoxious because, like, then you go back to... Because you see the sweet moment between the two of them, and then you go back to, oh, shit, this is a reality show where other people are involved, and they don't know what's going on up there. They don't understand the connection that's being brought upon. Laura walks downstairs to, I don't know, get a sip of milk from the kitchen, and then Mandy sees her. How do my sloppy seconds taste, you little whore? I'm like, holy shit, no, Mandy, don't do that. Yeah. Like, I understand, but, like, no, that was a sweet moment, and now you're looking like a crazy person.
Hold on, though. I will defend Mandy in this scenario right here, because until, before Laurel showed up, everyone, Johnny, Tyler, Kenny, they're all saying, like, oh, yeah, he's banging her now, and shit. They were just kind of stoking the fires. So I feel like by that time, and they're all drinking, of course, because that's all they can do for fun. So by the time that Laurel actually comes down, and Mandy's like, wait a minute, is that a bead of sweat on her forehead? She's been fucking up my doing. You know what I mean? Like, she just kind of gets, she kind of feeds into all the hoopla and shit. So I think it's mostly just the group driving Mandy's, the way she's handling this scenario. You know what I mean? I don't know, that's how I feel.
I think that's a fair assumption of how it went down.
A little scene after that is when Wes is talking to Evelyn, and he's saying... I like this scene a lot. What does he say? He's like...
He said in his little interview, like, I'll be honest, I am threatened by him. And then it cuts to him in this pool while he's talking to Evelyn, and he's being all like, oh, I will destroy him, blah, blah, blah. And Evelyn is like, well, I don't believe that you're that confident if you're this worried about him. And he's like, can I beat him? Yeah. But, I just want to take that risk factor out because that's why I want to beat him. Not because I'm scared of him or I think that he's going to beat me, but just because that's the reason. He gets, like, all silly about it. But I can understand, like, what he's saying. Like, I feel that he's confident that he could beat him. But at the same time, there is a little bit of insecurity there to where, like, he doesn't really know. He just... I mean, it makes sense. Take out your fucking hardest competition. Try to get him out any way you can, even if it is by trying to get someone else to do it for you. I love Evelyn in this season because she keeps calling people out and stuff like this. And it happened with her partner, Paula, in like an episode or two before. I love that this is kind of what they're saying, but then as a viewer, you're kind of thinking the other thing, and then Evelyn says those things and calling them out straight up, even in this situation. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're saying that you could beat him, but I don't feel like you're that confident if you're this worried about getting him out. And I love it. It's just, I love her in this season. I've never really felt that much towards her, but rewatching this season, I'm appreciating her more, I guess, because she is saying all the things that I would love to be said. Which you don't see happen anymore. People usually just say things now, and they're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, they kind of go along with it and
they
shit.
Don't fight it.
Evelyn's like, "No, bullshit," and it's great because Wes and Evelyn are friends, and that's why she's able to call him out on this sort of stuff. So it's a real moment. I liked it. So here's another fucking real moment: the Evan and Nehemiah exchange,
this is great.
Where he's like, Nehemiah's saying, "Evan, I think you're a follower." Because of the way that you act around other people when they're around, the way that you change when Kenny and Johnny's around and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And Evan's like, okay, well, I think that you hide behind what I would call a fake spiritualism. Yeah. Which, I mean, this is kind of really digging into each other. This is kind of, they're not really pulling their punches on the way they feel about each other. No other team thus far has just sat there and had this exchange where they're like, I don't care for you. I don't, I see right through your bullshit. And, like...
And that's literally what they're doing with each other. And you have to appreciate this right here. This is real rivals. Oh, yeah. Okay? These are people that really don't get each other. They can't, stand each other in a way. They're not friends. No. And even if they're on a team, they're still not going to pretend for whatever because they're both... I don't know, full of pride in a way. They're not going to be the one that backs down. Yeah. And it's just amazing to watch. I love both of these guys. I love the team. Huge fan of both of them. I love this moment, especially.
Evan's like, tell me why you're here in one sentence. And Nehemiah's like, this is a test. It's called the challenge. Things are going to be put in my way that I have to deal with and grow as a person. You want another sentence, another word? Money. And Evan's like, exactly. You know what I mean?
Okay, so let's just say we're all here for money.
Exactly. Oh my God, it was so perfect.
That should have been your first thing.
Oh, it was so good. And he's like, you want to test your spirituality or whatever? Go live in a monastery or something like that. Yeah. Because, So now we cut to the actual mission.
Catch and Release.
Catch and Release.
Is the name of the game. All right, so explain to them what Catch and Release is.
Why do I gotta do it? I mean, what do? You have someone suspended up, your partner suspended up in the air, and then like a good, I don't know how much feet you have to jump exactly, but your partner has to jump off, and you guys have to hug basically midair. You're gonna swing across this giant river or lake or whatever. And then you have to pull the ripcord, you fall down, then you got to swim to the buoy, and your time is stopped.
Fastest person wins.
Yes, and Jen and Mandy, they're in charge of the order, and I love it because, right away, Mandy's like, so who do we put first? Jen is like, CT and Adam. So cold. So fucking disconnected.
And Mandy's like, what? No, because, and then Jen's like, you've known CT a few weeks. I've known Adam years, and I'm still wanting to put him first, because I'm a huge... cold-hearted bitch.
That's exactly how I interpret it.
Well, Jen isn't thinking, oh, I don't give a shit about Adam, like previously stated. And Mandy actually kind of genuinely, I would assume, cares still about CT, even though he's going off with Laurel. But Jen doesn't care because it's still, I'm Jen, and I don't care about Adam, who are you, Mandy, to be wanting to stop this because of CT?
Yeah, because Jen, she even says, like, her alliance, Adam and CT aren't part of that. And this is also to make sure that D-Day happens once again.
Yeah, they went back to the plan of they want Evan and Nehemiah to lose and someone of their alliance to win in order to throw CT and Adam into the jungle. And
Evan and Nehemiah have to lose even more, so they're automatically in the jungle. So first is CT and Adam.
Adam's a little scared. He's up there just swinging because CT's going to jump on him.
What does he say? We're going to go first, and we're going to, people are going to copy us. They're going to mimic us. So just be you. Don't try and be me, be you, or some shit like that. It was great.
It was a great CT quote. Honestly, there's so many great CT quotes in this season. It's like, if you want to see a CT season where he really just shines, this is it.
The fact that all the other dudes are just, like, putting all the focus on him, he's able to thrive in this scenario. So anyways, they go first. I'm not really sure what to say. I mean...
Well, Wes says, like, they got done pretty darn quick. Because you're not really seeing the end times. You're seeing the time at the beginning. I hate when they do this stuff. I like seeing specific times. I don't like when they do this. They don't actually ever show specific times in this mission. Mm-hmm. But they show the beginning of it. They show kind of, like, in between. They don't show the ends, though. All we know is they did pretty quick. So then CT and Adam, they get it done. They get it back up. CT's still going, hey, are we friends yet? Adam, hey, are we friends yet? Come on, dude. Yeah. Come on, dude. We friends yet?
And then, of course, Kenny mocks him by, like, going up to Adam and, like, faking to strangle him. He's like, tell me you're my fucking friend already or whatever. And Kenny's saying, like, CT tries to say, like, hey, he tries to be all cute with Adam, but in reality, had they not been teams this season, he would have been treating Adam like shit again. And I
mean, you never know.
I would agree.
Maybe,
but
maybe not.
We were already privy to him saying, hey, I'm changed because my brother's fucking dead now. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, he got shot, and I was supposed to go to the duel too. He's like, CT, help me. And he's like, no, gotta go. And I'm sure he was full of turmoil.
You say, like, no, it wasn't. CT was standing over him as he died. No, dude, gotta go to the duel. Hope you make it. Bye.
Yeah, gotta fuck Siobhan on a fucking rooftop, motherfucker. No, it wasn't that cold.
Right, so then Jasmine and John A., they go. They're up first for the ladies. I mean, they didn't do great. I mean, but they did okay, I guess.
This mission is actually, it's so simplistic. It's cool. Like, it's cool. I'm not dissing it.
I love this mission. I feel like it's so fun to watch. Each time a person went, I was like, oh, there they go. And then they fall. And then they swim. I don't know why, but I just really enjoyed this mission.
Well, in terms of podcasting, I mean, like, what could we say? Like, Jasmine and John A., they do it, and then they get done, right?
It's a lot more fun to watch. So stop the podcast, do a little pause, go rewatch the mission. Come on back. You'll see what we mean. We love it.
Mike and Leroy next.
Mike. Oh my God, we said the exact opposite of the team. That's weird. Okay. Oh my gosh, no, at the beginning because like Mike's getting pulled up, and he's like, they're like, Jesus is part of you, Michael. It's this weird moment, but it's a good 30 seconds to a minute worth of the episode of Mike getting pulled up on this harness, and the cast is just yelling stuff about Jesus and Michael being one.
Well, the cast is having fun with Mike, just the way that the audience are having fun with Mike, because he's new, he's different, he's goofy. You know, we just enjoy him on TV and shit. And he's actually kind of overshadowing Leroy. I gotta say that.
I would say the same thing. I wish Mike would have done more seasons because it's so fun. These little moments, just even like this little moment of them saying, Jesus is part of you, Michael. It's so fun to watch the cast with Mike. And just moments later, after they, I don't know when they were dancing, but him and Paula were dancing.
Yeah. Everyone was into it. They loved the idea of him and Paula.
So weird, but I love it.
They go, not much to say. Leroy says, hey, good job. And Mike goes, yeah.
I wish they would have played that.
That would have been awesome.
Audio clip. You know, I love Mike's attitude, though. He's like, we tried our hardest. You know, hopefully we did well, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, then Cara and Laurel.
Laurel is actually in the harness this time, and she's having Kara jump.
I think that's a good strategy.
Isn't that kind of like telling of their relationship now, where Laurel's like, "Hey, you do it now," isn't it?
I don't know. I just saw it more so. I think Laurel's a little smarter to think, am I going to be this giant beast jumping onto a tiny little baby elephant? Like, I don't know what I said elephant for, but I'm meaning that Laurel's a bigger girl, so it makes more sense for the smaller girl to jump onto her. Which is weird because Adam and CT did it the exact opposite. But I thought they had a good strategy with the littler person jumping on her.
Well, it'll pay off because,
spoilers!
They win!
Damn!
But, when they do jump and they fall, Kara does have that ribbon wrapped around her neck and shit.
And leg.
And we all know, especially now, that Kara can't fucking swim.
Right.
But yeah, they're able to... Yeah, that's actually interesting. The fact that Kara can't swim and it's wrapped around her neck, that they actually win, is still crazy. All right, next is Kenny and Wes. Kenny, of course, being the DQ king.
And then Wes is the cocky king. It's immediately going, when it comes to swimming, I'm the man.
I'm the man.
I don't know why I made Wes have that voice just then. But, he's a very cocky man. And I feel like every viewer of the challenge at that point, especially if you're listening to this podcast, you are very aware that Wes is a dominant swimmer. So
that's true. Yeah.
Every time there's a swimming mission, he always goes on about how he's a great swimmer. And honestly, he does very well in the swimming missions to the point you can't argue it.
So yeah, they finish. Again, this mission is just like, all right, next is Paula and Evelyn. They go, I have nothing to write about. Evelyn beats Paula to the buoy. No surprises there.
Yeah.
Next is Johnny and Tyler. This is where Johnny prematurely evacuates.
Yeah.
He pulls the red string a little too early, and he's like, "It's been years," and shit like that.
It was a fine little fun moment, I guess. I mean, to their alliance, it was a big deal just because they wanted to win.
That's right.
So
that's
it
true.
was like, oh shit, I messed up, so now we might not win. Adam and CT might take the cake.
That's right. Now the JEK, they're just like, holy shit, Johnny and Tyler, you fucked up so much. Now it's obviously between CT and Adam and Wes and Kenny at this point. Because Evan and Nehemiah, they still have to go and lose, for sure.
So it's a kind of big deal.
Jen and Mandy are next.
It seemed fast to me. It seemed like they did a good job. Mandy was like, I'm feeling good with Jen as my partner. Every time we do another mission, I'm feeling that much stronger, basically.
Well, Jen says she's like, I can't wait to tackle her and shit in the water. and that actually reminds me, Jen and Mandy are the only female competitors in this rival season that actually had physical contact. Yeah. The only, it's Jen and Mandy and then CT and Adam. Everyone else, it's from afar or whatever.
That's true.
No swings were swung, as they say. I don't know who's that said, but
as they all say, no swings were swung. I love it. I want to say that more often.
What?
Nevin.
Oh, so yeah, Jen Mandy go.
I said Nevin. I combined their names. Nevin. Go. And I hate nose rings actually, but Nehemiah has a nose ring.
I noticed that, and I'm surprised that you mentioned this.
It's a thing when you're doing a podcast with me. Those are things that will be mentioned. Nose ring.
Did you also notice that Nehemiah has braces?
I did. And I was wondering, wait, does he have braces, or is that just a mouthpiece he was wearing? No,
or a grill,
braces,
perhaps.
But he did have a nose ring, and I feel like Nehemiah can pull it off, though. Maybe that's just because I'm a fan of Nehemiah. I love anything he does.
Yeah, you celebrate his entire catalog.
But yeah, it was so strange because Evan's like, okay, let's throw this mission. I'm not gonna tell Nehemiah about it. But I'm like, wait a second, isn't he well aware that you guys are doing that? And then suddenly it's this huge thing of, I guess Nehemiah decided he didn't want to throw this mission anymore, and then Evan literally does that. They fall into the water. He sits there. Nehemiah races off to the buoy, hits it real quick. Then Evan's just like, ooh, see you in the jungle, narrator. Nehemiah, he's getting pissed.
put in the part where Evan says, "Does anyone know the way to the jungle?" And everyone's laughing, especially Adam. And that kind of annoyed me. In fact, that really annoyed me. Because he should fucking know.
Right.
He should know, right?
How are you still so unaware of the actual situation that's going about? How do you not understand what he's doing right there? He wants to lose. He wants you to lose so he can go against you and get rid of you. Yeah.
I don't know. It was kind of hard to watch because, we like CT, we want to like Adam, but Adam's like, friends with clearly the enemy and the biggest threat for him and his partner. And there he is laughing because Evan's like, this is the plan. This is D-Day. This is Normandy.
Their relationship is actually, their friendship is very strange to me because Evan keeps doing this shit to make sure that, to continue to try to make Adam leave. But even I think it was like an episode or two, they were wrestling around in their bedroom. Like they roomed together to the point, like, I guess it could be pretty confusing if I was Adam and I was hanging out with this guy and just having a grand old time, but then he kept trying to get me to leave. Like, it would be very strange to kind of go, no, we're buds. And then with Evan doing a moment like this, I probably would be laughing too, because I think that we're genuinely friends. And Adam, I feel bad for him at this point now just thinking about it, because he thinks he's actually friends with Evan. He thinks he's in an actual relationship with Jen at this point. Like, it's a little hard to watch. Like, no, Adam, like, see through the bullshit and see what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Has he done a challenge after this?
Adam?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I didn't think that he had, because I felt like, not saying that he wasn't invited back or something, but even after watching this season, that'd be hard to come back from this moment. I've always enjoyed Adam on the show, but to come back after a moment of a girl literally leading you on and a guy literally leading you on in a friendship, it'd be hard to see. Anyway, too much time spent on this moment. Nehemiah and Evan is the main draw at this point, because Evan throws it, Nehemiah's pissed.
Then they have that awkward boat ride where Nehemiah's leg is just like, you could just tell he's just like, I want to throw some fists and shit like that, Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess Nehemiah told him that he wanted to do his best, and then Evan still did it. Yeah.
And then when they get back on the deck, or the dock, Nehemiah takes off his wet fucking life preserver, throws it in Evan's face. Oh, yeah. I don't know. What I'm getting at, he already knew it was going to happen.
Which makes me think that, like, maybe he was okay with it at first, and then, like I said just a second ago about him telling Evan that he was going to try his best, maybe that was his way of, I'm not okay with this anymore, let's just play this straight up. But Evan kind of heard that and went, what do you mean you're going to do your best? This was the plan the entire time. And maybe they didn't actually have a conversation about it because they're not good at talking to each other in that sense.
They're not.
Nehemiah could have said that, and then Evan would have went, yeah, okay, whatever, do your best, sure, Then this whole situation happened.
The way I see it is that maybe Nehemiah was like, I thought D-Day was two episodes ago,
right?
And it didn't work. So, and since Evan and Nehemiah don't speak to each other, Evan never said, oh, by the way, D-Day is back
still
up.
On, yeah. Well, for that to even be a thing, it's still strange just for the fact that Wes, which he even says here in a bit, Nehemiah is his best friend. So how is that still not being said? Regardless of Evan and Nehemiah not being close, Wes and Nehemiah are still best friends at this point. So it should have been a thing still. So if anything, Nehemiah should be mad at Wes even at this point, but he's not. Let's move on. We've been talking about this a while. So anyway, Laurel and Cara Maria, they win the $2,000 as previously spoiled.
Yeah, but we also have to include the people that were in the top running. Paula and Evelyn, which is no surprise, but Jen and Mandy.
Jen and Mandy, right.
Remember they won the previous episode? They're actually improving, which is pretty cool. And Laura and Cara Maria, isn't that their first win this season?
I do believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so that's awesome. The women division is getting a little bit more exciting. All right, so anyways, TJ says, all right, let's talk about the people that are going automatically into the jungle. He's like, so what happened there? Nehemiah's like, I'll tell you what happened.
This is good.
I'm in a game with a bunch of bitches, And I got the biggest one on my team. Classic.
That's good.
Classic. Good stuff. Yeah. And then he says, then TJ says, okay, well, the top two guys were between CT and Adam, even though they went first. Isn't that awesome? That's pretty sweet. And Kenny and Wes, finally, for the first time in the running. And they actually win.
Oh, boy.
It was such an awesome scene after they won, because Kenny's like, oh my god, I'm back, like, I got my mojo back and shit like that. And he's like, so once again, Mr. Beautiful and the Kansas City Chief, we got the title and shit like that. And so what's great about it is that Kenny's like talking himself up, and Wes. And then when Wes starts talking, he's like, this is what you gotta do. Make sure it's swimming. Make sure that he's tied up and he doesn't have to do anything. Make sure that I do everything. Kenny's like, wait a minute. Like, you're kind of dissing me here. But after all that, Wes is like, load the guns and shit. And they
Kenny
actually
loads
work
it.
Together.
Kenny goes, and then I don't know if it was a sound effect or real life, but there was a gunshot right then.
I'm sure it was real, man.
Not to bring back bad memories of CT and the dual tool, but yeah. So they're happy.
Oh.
They're happy together. They're happy together, and it's nice to see them actually having fun.
So now Evan and Nehemiah get in this little verbal scuffle once again afterwards.
Woo wee! Here it comes again.
What is that? He's like, listen, bro, I know you're pissed, but don't ever slap me in the face with a life preserver ever again. And Nehemiah's like, make a move.
And then Wes comes over and he starts to kind of try to be the middleman. And, Evan, I mean, he's making a good point. Like, dude, he threw the vest at me, blah, blah, blah. And Nehemiah's like, but I didn't want to. Wes is just like, listen, he's still my best friend. So I gotta. This actually is it's a lot fucking cooler of a scene than I'm trying to make it out to be at this point. It's a lot of fun.
What does that mean?
Nehemiah is like, the real challenge is going to be me keeping my cool on the same team as Evan. And I'm like, Nehemiah, I love you. Stop it.
Stop it.
just win this. You're the man.
Okay, so let's get back to the house where Laurel and CT are flirting some more.
What, bro?
CT says, hey, you want to wear my jersey and shit?
Yes. It was another sweet moment. And then he's like, hey, you want to wear my jersey? And she's like, I don't know, because I didn't say I was going to do that. And he's like, yeah, but will you? Anyway, it cuts to CT in his little interview. I gave up on Minnie. Just kind of over it. I'm like, holy shit, straight to the point, I get it. If you don't, you're kind of just feeling Laurel more, well, I guess that's fine, but we had 5 episodes of you basically hanging out with Mandy every single day, so it's very strange. I guess maybe he really didn't ever actually give a shit about her, and maybe now he's actually kind of feeling Laurel, which I don't want to say maybe kind of, he is, because he's opening up to her in a lot of ways. He's being sweet to her, he's being nice, he's being silly. Yeah. Which is fun to see CT being. It's a different kind of side.
And, of course, Mandy is watching this whole scenario go down, and she's like, she could have them. CT, if you want a 200-pound girl with ADHD disorder, I'm like, wouldn't that be ADHD? Because isn't the ADHD at the end disorder anyways? And then now, so at the deliberation, it's great. They're all so self-aware. CT just gets up, and he's like, all right, You wanted us, we're here.
He knows what they're doing. Yeah, all right, let's go. You did what you did. Let's do what we're doing then. You want to go against me and CT? You got us, is what Adam says. It's the whole moment's great just because, everybody has something to say. I miss this so much. Everybody is not afraid to just say anything at any moment without they feel. Rewatching this is great. I can't express that more. It's nice to see people who stand up for themselves no matter what.
CT gets up, he's like, okay, someone says oh, so you're just volunteering then? And he's like, okay, well, vote. You gotta vote, throw out a vote. He already knows what's gonna happen. And I think CT, he's like, you guys want to go against us, right? And I was like, we want to dance, bro, Now him and Nehemiah are sitting together, which is a little bit more of a unification, which I like. And CT's like, all right, fine. We're going to show you guys why everyone's scared of us. And this is where
that.
Johnny is like, we're not scared of you. You're a cancer. We want you out of this house. I'm like, was that kind of harsh to refer to CT as a cancer? I mean, that's pretty extreme. Is he that evil? Is he that bad? I mean, they certainly believe so. They believe he's evil because he beat the shit out of Davis and Adam. Two people that they could not give a shit about.
Right.
That's why I think it's so extreme for John to say, you're a cancer.
For him to say it like that, when really underneath it all, it's just, hey, you're not part of our alliance, we want you gone, is such an easier kind of way to go about it. So yeah, they're going in.
What's so good about it is that when CT gets up and everyone's like, CT, everyone's voting, and then Jen has to vote. She's like, my vote is for CT and Adam. And Adam's like, thanks. Because everyone's talking about CT and they're just kind of ignoring like little bitty Adam. He's like, me too,
I'm here too, though. Remember, guys? What drives me crazy is then afterwards, because, CT and Adam, they get chosen in there, and so it's going to be CT versus Evan and Nehemiah, and there's this moment, like these moments in between of like Jen kind of being like, oh, it would be great if you and you and CT came back, Adam, and kind of like talking to Adam as if she actually enjoys him, actually wants him to come back. And it's very strange because then even in her interview, she's talking about how she doesn't want to see him gone. So it's just kind of weird because she literally was just the last episode saying, ew, I would never even give a shit about him if I wasn't drunk.
She also kind of said, like, it would just be great if you guys won, just because it would fuck up everyone else's plans. And to me, Jen has always been not a team player in terms of production. I'm sure production is kind of annoyed with her because she won't play up the whole Kenny versus Wes or the Alliance versus CT. She's just kind of like, I don't give a fuck, and production's like, let's film someone else. You know what I mean? Okay, so after that, after deliberations, Mandy's drunk and upset about Laurel.
So she goes to the next best thing.
And Wes, who has been hiding in the wings the entire time, he's just like, hey, I tried to warn you, whatever, he's really trying to play that angle. And what happens? CT walks in, something like that, and he's like, oh, I would never hook up with her because I'm a bad boy or something. I have no idea what he meant by that.
He was like, it was in the kitchen, right? To where like he came in, he's like, Wes says that CT's not a bad boy. You're not and then CT's like, I'm better than you,
bro.
It was so weird. The whole thing is weird because like, how can you say that he's not a bad boy? He's literally the definition of a fucking bad boy in terms of anything before this season. Now he's like a sweet guy. He's a sweetheart.
And
he's the underdog.
And this is between the two guys that are like kind of okay with each other. You know what I mean? Like, sure, they've yelled at each other for hours, or at least CT's yelled at Wes for hours.
But then they're still in the background of, like, watching other people do their thing. So, like, hey, yeah, Wes, ah. So weird to see them hate each other so much, but at the same time still be cool with each other. You don't see that.
Yeah, but this is when CT's like, he's like, I'm better than you, bro. I'm better than you. And Wes, what does he do? He just kind of looks down and just takes all this verbal beating, Mandy walks off, and CT's like, you know what? I'm a bad boy because I do dirt, and my friends do dirt, and your clan can't handle my clan, and all this other shit. He's like, and don't try and make me look bad in front of the girls. That's a cheap tactic, bro. Cheap tactic. Which it kind of is. You ever have a guy, like, kind of talk to a girl and diss you just to make him get laid and shit like that? It is kind of a cheap tactic. But I love the fact that...
But it's a great fucking tactic to have in life, Vince.
In life?
Oh, yeah.
If you want to get laid?
If you want to get laid, fucking talk shit about your friends. Nah. Oh, you think he's hot? No, that guy's a piece of shit.
Me, on the other hand, I'm fucking sensitive and shit, I'm a very sensitive man. I have a sensitive penis. You want to touch it? You know what I mean? It's that sort of shit.
Right.
All right, so anyways, Mandy is still drunk.
Ends up cuddling with Mr. West. She's in their bedroom.
All right, we're going to skip the whole part where she was talking to Evan and shit.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that, okay? She's in the bedroom.
Is it because you don't like Mandy? This is the only reason why I'm just like, wait a minute.
No, there's that, because I'm just
trying to ignore her scenes?
No, Mandy's fine.
But there's actually a way funnier part that comes after, which is like Jasmine hiding under their bed. Just like watching but Mandy and Wes in the bed for whatever reason, and then Wes sees her, and then pulls Jasmine up by her pants and like pulls her ass out and stuff. It's such a
ass. Yeah.
We didn't get to, but Wes did. You know that I'm going to start pulling girls' pants to. I don't know. I'm saying this as if I have like girls hiding under beds that I can pull their pants and like, get out of underneath my air hockey table, and then pull their pants and hopefully their ass falls out. No, but it was a funny moment. I thought it was fun.
So Wes and Mandy are doing the whole like fake sleep fucking. You ever do this?
No. Well, I mean,
do it.
Quiet sleeping fucking. I guess I don't know. Like you do stuff pretending to not actually be doing stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, it happens. You know, you pretend you're getting Z's when really you're getting some D. You're getting some D. But the craziest part, even when Jasmine is like trying to sneak up on him and shit, in the exact same room, no further than 4 feet away, is CT sleeping. And actually, he's kind of awake. The first time when Jasmine shows up, he's just kind of lying there. And it's just so bizarre. Because CT knows damn well that Wes and Mandy are hooking up, yet Wes and CT have this thing. It's totally bizarre.
I mean, it's weird when you think about how they're the two kind of people in the show that, well, I mean, Wes wants to get rid of CT. He's just kind of like whatever. And Mandy wants CT, and CT doesn't want hers, so then she just goes to his enemy, and very, very weird.
Yeah, and what did I say? Oh, but Wes says, so Mandy and I were hooking up. You know, it is what it is. It's what happens when two beautiful people who are friends. It's what happens.
I love that he doesn't acknowledge the fact that she's only with him because CT didn't want her.
You think? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean? Yeah. Like obviously, like if CT wanted her, she would be in there sucking his D. Instead, she's in there pretend sleeping, getting D. Anyway, let's move on to the goddamn elimination. Rail slide.
Yeah, rail slide, man. TJ says, all right, so you guys are hung up 25 feet off the ground. You don't want to fall that far. Believe me. And that's a stupid-ass joke about his own fucking accident that happened before the whole entire fucking season started. The whole reason why we had to slow to a crawl to say, like, oh my god, who's hosting this challenge? Is it TJ? He's hurt. And now he's making jokes about it. See, that's the whole fucking reason we could have cut that shit. Whatever. I don't know. When I saw that scene, obviously, I just thought back. I'm like, you fucking TJ. What was it? Oh, Adam says, like, before this, I had 50,000 reasons to stay in the game. And since I've hooked up with Jen a little bit, I have 50,001 reasons or whatever. I'm like, all right. The guy knows math. Fine. And then Nehemiah is saying, like, you know, when it's happening, he's like, obviously Evan didn't put in the work in the gym like you always do before going into these things, right. You know? And because Evan is struggling so bad. Should we describe what this thing is? You describe rail slide.
Okay, well,
describe the mission.
So the teammates are, like, tied up to this bamboo stick that's hanging up into the air, and they're using their hands, right? Like their hands are on the stick, and they have to like go forward in this together. They have to like jump up in a way, like using their muscles to hit this stick down this path that's hanging 25 feet over the ground. So they're very high up in the air, and they have to get themselves that are tied to a stick to the end of the row. It seems very difficult.
It is actually. I'm looking at it now. Even though it sucked that the actual when it does happen is kind of like lackluster, because Evan and Nehemiah, especially Evan, cannot do shit. Yeah. You know,
they're struggling.
As Evelyn said, it requires core strength and team communication, which they don't have. You know, and this is like. What, like the 30th comment about how Evan's fat and out of shape. You know what I mean?
And it's so funny because like obviously he's still in shape in a way, but like he's just not as in shape. So to them, the fattest guy is just
exactly.
I don't know.
If you go
strange.
to Wisconsin, everyone looks like Evan. You know what I mean? Like, even the strongest guys have a fucking beer gut because it's fucking Wisconsin. You know what I mean? Well, I guess that's not it. But, like, I don't know. In terms of, like, Americans, I guess, we're, like, an obese nation. But, like, I'm sure Evan gained, like, maybe 5 pounds of, like, just fat. And to everyone else in the challenge, they're like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Because it's at that level of athleticism and sportsmanship that everyone's used to being at.
Right.
And now Evan, after winning the Duel 2 and the Ruins back to back, I'm sure he was just like, all right, I'm retired now. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna let loose a little bit. I'm gonna let myself go a smidge. But that translates
into a full season of him getting called fat.
Yeah.
Like, I would have been pissed watching this season. I just won 2 seasons in a row, and I let myself go a tiny, minuscule bit. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's calling me fat because I'm not the skinniest guy in the challenge? The fuck? Nobody's calling Mike fat. Evan's way more in shape than Mike.
That's a good point, yeah.
So anyway, they're losing. Adam and CT, they get it together. They end up winning, and it's just immediately the opposite of what everyone wanted, in a way. Yes. Well, when it comes to the plan. Bananas is like, I'm really starting to question whether this was the right move. No, of course it wasn't the right move, you fucking idiot. Everybody knew it wasn't the right move. Did you not listen to Ev? Ev has told you the whole season not to put these fuckers in there to take out CT and Adam because it's not going to happen. And guess what? Uh-oh, it didn't. Very silly move.
Yeah, and now hearts are broken. Kenny, Evan's best friend, they're real good pals, you know. He's like, I wasn't crying. Something flew in my eye, and it might have looked like I was crying, but I wasn't.
I can understand the move. If I was in a 3-team alliance, and one of the other teams wanted to try to do it, but they didn't necessarily have as good of a chance as maybe I did, I would be all for it. Sure, go ahead and try it. Maybe we'll get lucky and you'll fucking do it, and it'll be amazing. I don't know. I feel like I would have the intelligence to still not try to do that, though. Maybe, I don't know. I would have tried to get a situation to where Leroy and Mike could go against CT and Adam, because it's just 2 completely different teams that aren't any part of your alliance. So try for that to happen. It'd be a little harder to try to get that to happen, but still.
In reality, this is Evan's this is his rematch with CT. He once challenged CT in the Duel 1 because he was thinking long term as well. He was like, if CT's in that final, I'm going to have a fucking hell of a time trying to beat him. I have a better chance in an elimination than I do in a final. I think it makes sense. I actually do. It's just that it's so fucking risky, yet Evan's willing to make that chance.
But even if, let's say, you got to the final with him, you'd still be making money. So you have to it's too much of a risk to put yourself in that situation when you could easily, potentially get to the final with him. Regardless, you would still make some money at this point in the game. So I can understand you wanting to get all your friends' money and stuff. No, I'm too selfish. Fuck that. Let me get to the final, regardless of CT being there or not, and then let me make some cash. Maybe Evan's just like, I just won 2 in a row. Who gives a shit? I can lose this one. Maybe I'll come on the next one and destroy, not knowing what would happen with the lawsuit.
Oh, shit. All right, so I was wondering if we should bring this up. If we should expose... I don't know if it's called the 4th wall necessarily, but with CT and Adam eliminating Evan and Nehemiah, of course, Evan and Nehemiah, they actually grew as rivals after this episode, because there was a interview or whatever with the 2 of them, and they even hated each other even more after this. But I guess what I'm getting at is that Evan was not the same this season. I'm a fan, so obviously I pay attention to what he's doing and shit. I'm like, Evan, you didn't eat eggs this morning. Are you okay? You know what I mean? Like that sort of thing. But he was different. He was overweight, 1, and B, he was
making
so
risky
willing.
moves like this.
Yeah,
I genuinely
exactly.
feel like he didn't think that he would not be on another season. I think that he
Exactly.
thought, what's this season? Whatever. I'll be on the next 3 and maybe win a couple more.
Actually, no, I disagree. I think that with the whole Tanya scenario, if we're willing to go down that route, are you willing to talk about that with me?
No, I am not. Yeah, why not? Who cares? You're disagreeing with my point that I think that he thought he had more time. I think that he genuinely thought that this wasn't going to turn into anything else. It hadn't at this point, which was 2 seasons ago with the Runes, right? It was a couple seasons, which was at least 1.5 years or 2 years. Like, he thought, hey, I'll just go on the next season, whatever.
I honestly think that the Ruins, what was that? A good...
I would say at
maybe
least
a
2
year?
seasons.
They do 2 seasons a year,
Right.
right? So that wasn't too long ago, and you know how long it takes to get, that sort of shit to court and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't, but
Well, I mean...
I would assume it would take a long time in terms of like...
You just made it seem like I did, but okay, sure. I was just going along with you in the sense that you're saying that you thought Evan knew he wouldn't be back, so he just was like, what? Let me get out of here
I
then?
think that not only
So
did
I
Evan
don't
know,
do that again?
not only did I think that Evan knew and Kenny knew, but I think that the producers knew. They knew that this ruin scenario with Tanya was eventually going to pay dividends in a bad way sooner or later. So producers like, holy shit, we have this genius idea. Rivals, people that hate each other, let's put them on. And they got all the stars, especially Kenny and Evan.
Okay.
Put them on there before this thing becomes concrete and we can't have them on the show anymore. Because in the end, with the whole Tanya scenario with Evan and Kenny, the settlement was that Tanya said they can't go on a challenge anymore. And you know why? I'm pretty sure it's because she's like, that's what they love.
Yeah.
That's what they enjoy doing. That's what everyone benefits from because, even the producers, So I feel like they knew that was going to happen. So by the time that Evan shows up for Rivals 1, he's like, hey, man, I just won 2 in a row. I let myself go a little bit because I'm in love. He has a girlfriend. Nehemiah, in the post interviews, he's like, I knew Evan wasn't the same because he kept on missing his girlfriend.
He'd kind of thought, okay, I've won 2. Let me go ahead and do this last season. Why not? Let me make some moves. Let me shake it up a bit. They talked me into this, but really I just kind of want to move on with my life with my girlfriend.
Exactly. They talked him into it. They were just like, listen, it's called Rivals. This theme is fucking gold.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People are going to fucking watch this. So we got to get our best stars in. And Evan, as we've talked about him throughout the season, is charming. He's a natural fucking star, I feel. But Evan himself, he's like, okay, yeah, I'll be charming, but like my heart's not into it, boys. I have this girl back home, and I'm kind of done with this, and I have this lawsuit hanging over Kenny and I.
Right.
So yeah, it's just
I can
don't
see
know.
that.
It's crazy time.
I could see that.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's the end of the episode.
Evan's gone. One of your favorite competitors. Last moment you got to enjoy him was this bit here. So, I feel for you in that sense. Mm-hmm. But again, I loved Nehemiah. This was his last moment. So, in a way.
It was. He would never come back.
We're losing 2 competitors we both love. Let's just have a cry session real quick. Just let it all out, dude. Who cares who's listening? This is us. This is how we feel. This is how we feel.
Oh my god, I think my roommate's hearing me fake crying up here, but...
She just popped her head out the door like, hey, is everything okay out there? That is the end of the episode. I am Scott Allwood.
I am Vincent Cloud. Remember to like,
comment, share.
What's the other thing? Share? No, there's something else. Subscribe. Oh my god, subscribe. Check out the channel because...
Holy moly.
Not only are we covering Rivals
1, but if you look at the next video, watch out It's Rivals 3, which is airing right
Yeah.
now, currently on TV on Wednesday nights.
Yes.
And I guess if
Okay,
you want to
so-
listen to Vince and some other guy, go check that out.
Is that it? All right. Bye-bye, man.